Oh,
That
all
we
right,
transitioned
all
there.
right,
calm
yes,
down,
it's time,
you
guys. It's
freak.
time. Oh my goodness! All right, what's up, everyone?
Oh
How's
my
everybody doing
god.
tonight, morning, or
Jesus.
Don't make
afternoon,
me,
wherever in the
don't
world
make
you
I'm
me
glad
are?
do
you
it,
guys
bro.
didn't get to hear what he said.
Don't worry about it. We'll keep it off of the off-stream shit.
Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to, in this case, another hot or trash podcast with the most scuffed ass stream that you have ever witnessed so far.
Well, we're living up to our trash name, so yeah.
Correctus.
Yeah, fair enough. Just for those that do need the reminder as well, we are currently not going to have an episode next Saturday because I will be out on a business trip this entire week. And
Wow,
maybe
he
this
has
episode
business.
might be delayed. So,
Lame.
hey, come on.
Shame.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyways here, guys, what's today's topic?
It's in the
Your
title, bro. They
favorite
can read.
movie.
Yeah, come on,
No,
dude.
man. Fine. All right. For the people that cannot read, we are going to talk about the Starship Trooper movie and Democracy. By that, I mean Helldivers.
Cup of Liberty, please.
Yes, please open your mouth.
Hey, yo. Do it to me first.
Wait, hold up.
There we go.
Excuse
But let's go ahead and get this out of the way. What is Starship Troopers? To give you a quick synopsis of what it is, we are mostly talking about the 1997 movie, not the novels, as that book itself was pretty much the book itself, the whole novels was pro-fascist book about heavily militarism and all the soldiers being super loyal to this government and killing bugs, essentially.
What else do you need?
Honestly, that's about really describe Starship Troopers. But because of like the whole premise too, that like it was trying its hardest to take itself seriously, and it was pro-fascist. The producer of, in this case, the movie Starship Trooper, was so offended by it that he decided to make a movie solely for the purpose of being satirical to the novels. And he wasn't expecting this movie to be good. And yet again, here we are, and it's still like the most referenced movie ever.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I didn't do fucking shit. Whoever saw the fucking meme clip, yeah. Oh my god. But
Yes,
let's
sir.
go ahead. But yes, we won't really cover that much about the books, but if anything, we'll probably cover other media platforms or other media stuff that did at least try to be faithful to the books, but it's a bit interesting and weird. But let's go ahead and dive straight into the movie. What is this movie primarily about? Apparently this movie took place, or at least the starting setting was apparently in South America.
Mm-hmm.
Buenos Aires.
Yeah, and
That took me completely off by surprise.
yeah, we all thought it was in America too. I thought it was for a bit too. Then I remembered the line of Buenos Aires, and I was like, wait a second, that doesn't sound like any American city.
And then they nuked
No,
it.
sir, it's not.
Yeah, so
Well,
effectively,
well, the bugs
Well-
nuked it.
yeah, quote unquote, the bugs nuked it. I have a conspiracy theory that I would like to at least share as well. So beyond that point, we are featured at least three main characters, are in this case that are Rico, Carmen, and whoever the character name was that Neil Patrick Harris was playing. I only will ever see that character as NPH. I won't remember his character name, even though I know he is actually an important character in the novels. I do not care. Neil Patrick Harris owns that role now. You cannot change my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't even bother reading the books.
Keck W.
Shame.
Look, it's not
How
my
dare
fucking
you.
fault. Look, it's not my fucking fault, all right? I don't want to support fascists. Then again, the movie itself was already like funny enough that it was trying to be satirical. But
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and continue further with it. So why in this case do we care? Or in this case, why did this movie or the whole plot of the movie kicks off? I'm sorry, I was rambling there. So effectively, you have these three individual students here that were just normal high schoolers, or the appearance of a high schooler back in the 90s at least, where they're mostly 20 or 30-year-old men or women that are trying to pose themselves as teenagers. You know, the classic.
The classic.
And so with that, every one of them has like in a very far futuristic setting where in some cases or the other two, we are in a place of Earth where it's like the Federation forces, where every one of them has like some way of like having thrown propaganda at the people, right? The whole movie itself was just purely propaganda for the sake of enlisting you to the Federation, one way or the other. It was amazing to watch.
I wouldn't have it any other way, Mr. Bowie.
Absolutely loved it.
But in this case,
America.
so
Made me wanna do my
why?
part.
Yeah, if anything, that is the only thing that they took from the novels that they only put in the movies. Primarily, that was it. Because outside of that, it really did show like how ridiculous the whole thing was, and obviously, it is trying to mirror the way how. At first, it would have been like the over glorification of like the U.S. military complex. At least back then, that's what they were trying to criticize or trying to point out, or in this case, for the producer, how dumb that point was, especially coming from a pro-fascist author. But outside the point here too, main character is like conflicted because he's dating this one chick, Carmen, right? Who her goal was to enlist into the Federation to become a pilot. You know, I guess lofty goals here and there. And it shows in this case you need to have aptitude of like a lot of good scores, primarily math. Apparently math and not physics. I don't know why. But anyways, it's even in the point too, like the whole future setting is so ridiculous too, where everybody can see their scores out in a big public forum setting. It's like you can search up your score and it shows it to you. Or when Rico tries to look for his score, it was like, oh, I got a 36. And his friend goes, oh shit, you got your math score? Oh man, this is awesome. Let me put this up in a big screen, and it enlarges your grade. If you did that shit nowadays too, that person will more or less want to off themselves afterwards.
Yes, sir.
God damn. But doing so, obviously the guy Rico here wants to be with this girl. So obviously he has convinced himself that he wants to enlist and become part of the Federation, especially being like a space trooper, or I forgot. Oh, mobile infantry. That's what they're called. And therefore, there's like all these things. Who's like, oh, you're joining mobile infantry. Good for you. You'll be as strong and healthy just like me, says the guy with a bionic arm and losing both his legs.
Losing? You mean lost?
Yeah,
He's
my bad,
losing him,
lost.
dude.
Yeah, did you know? But yes, and the best thing about this movie too is the fact that it's in like the 90s too. There was, in this case, lots of practical uses of gore. Like just a lot of practical props, and it just simulates all that shit. And nudity too. A fuck ton of nudity for reasons that was only
Hell
seen
yeah,
in like
dude.
yeah.
That's what Brian likes, bro.
I mean, shit. I can't say less. I'll put my pants back on. Sorry about that.
Hey, Shmondy. I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, fuck you. But continuing on with the story here, we go in this case a segment where they're both like just trying to like they get veered off into like the boot camps of their respective areas. One of them went to mobile infantry, while the other one went to a Starfleet command to be like a space cadet, whatever, right? I'm not gonna go into like the whole like family story drama that Rico has, because that's honestly like irrelevant to the point. What I'm gonna go into is the fact that the whole way why the humans started to attack the bugs too was the whole propaganda that the bugs launched asteroids onto Earth. Now, mind you, let me rephrase that one more time. They claim that the bugs launched asteroids to Earth. How the fuck did this happen is beyond me.
I mean, you never know these technologically advanced bugs.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Whatever
you
the
saw some of
case.
the things they were doing in that movie.
Yeah, sure. But I want to propose a conspiracy theory that all this occurred because of one of the characters' actions to try to show off that she's better than everyone else. Yes, that's right. Carmen was the one that accidentally killed 12 million people on Earth.
I don't believe it.
Now, it is said too that nowhere at any point was said that the asteroid was heading directly to Earth. They were just saying that they were in proximity of an incoming asteroid. That was all we were given. Next thing you know, because how finicky space is, any type of minuscule impact will change the trajectory of any interstellar object. So who's to say too that the meteor itself would have just gone right past it and would have been a comet?
I'm still unconvinced.
You cannot convince me otherwise that due to her actions alone, where she tried to do this maneuver, initially tried to go for the straightest possible path, she ends up getting into the line of path of this asteroid. And in this case, clipping the ship that hits the asteroid, which in physics terms, that will definitely change the trajectory of it. That more or less could have corrected it on its course to Earth. I'm just saying here.
I believe it.
At least that is my conspiracy theory. This whole war would have not have happened if Carmen herself did not just straight up like do some shit like that. That's all I'm saying. She was already like in the character, guys, that she's a crazy ass pilot. So there's that. And then I'll even get straight onto the point, because literally a lot of the scenes from that point onwards is just the most amazing invasion tactic I've ever seen. The invasion of Klendathu. Sending every mobile infantry down to the planet, even for the whole entire space fleet to be there, gets absolutely destroyed and is immediately told to retreat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Brian, what else would you do, bro?
Our
Not
intel
do
was
that?
off.
Not invaded? Not destroy these bugs who just destroyed a city on our planet?
That may or may not have
What would you do, Mr. Bowie?
No, I don't know, man. But if anything, do you guys remember what was like the death count in Klendathu?
Over 100,000.
100,000, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, over 100.
It was like the first day over 100,000.
Yeah. Oops.
Oops, indeed.
I mean,
Mind
it's an
you.
oops, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's fine though.
To better portray like what the mobile infantry looks like, they just look like the best way to describe it again, it
Normal
just looks
infantry?
like the only things, yeah, normal infantry. That's what they look like, with like some alien
What
ass.
does normal infantry look like?
I don't know how to really describe it, except the fact that they just only wear body armor. That's it. And the fact that their gun barely is like huge as hell. I'm pretty sure that's where the Halo Combat Evolved got their inspiration for their AR rifles. It was from the fucking Starship Troopers.
I do absolutely love the fact that half the time they were shooting, it was right over the bug's head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're never
Really
really
just-
outside, bro.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it really to cement the point that these are all just new recruits. They would have accepted anybody in, except for that one farm boy that got domed in the head during a training exercise.
Well, they did accept him in. He just got
There
killed.
was a yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's why he was. That was why he was part of it.
yeah, true. He did get accepted in. Yeah, it was just to placate the point of like how illy trained a lot of these soldiers were. Yeah, how little training there was overall, if anything. So we'll get straight into more about it as well. Where Rico, we see as a character that starts from, he was leading a squad during the training camp, then gets immediately like court-martialed and about to leave the academy until the meteor hits Buenos Aires, and then he gets re-enlisted back again to be a private. And then he kind of makes his way up the chain of command because people above him kept dying. Who would have
Oh,
thought?
Makes no fucking sense.
I definitely feel okay. He definitely climbed the ranks really quick, but I also feel like that the squad commander definitely purposefully got some people killed to get him there.
I believe it.
Probably.
All right, yeah. He
But-
definitely did.
Yeah. So moving on from there, so we have him like following the story of like in this case showing the famous scene of, in this case, the outpost and then defending yourself and like other soldiers off like waves after waves of like fucking bugs or the arachnid bugs. That's what they're called, by the way. They're arachnids, even though they're not remotely spiders. They're more like ants, if anything.
Yep.
They look like spiders to me.
They got a dumpy.
My God.
Exactly. Spider.
They're more
Yeah.
arthropod.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it too is that like we are given information as viewers of how to kill these things by hitting them in their nerve stems, which is literally their main body. None of them hit the main body ever.
Of course.
When you don't aim down sights and you just start spraying, bro, I don't know what you're gonna
I-
hit.
Yeah, when you
I'm
shoot
not gonna
right
lie
over
to-
their heads.
I look at that rifle, Victor. Do you think that thing had an iron sight to begin with?
Bro,
Yes.
that thing's a Nerf gun, bro. And yes, Nerf guns have iron sights.
That thing did not have an iron sight. People were just squeezing that trigger with like I believe it was like a 120 round mag.
No, remember there was that guy with the big ass scope on it.
Yeah, that was it.
Nope.
It's still over on top of the same rifle. And he was still doing the same shit, squeezing the trigger. Let's just
I
say
do like
too-
that. Literally, like the only version of the gun was the exact same thing with just different sights.
Yep. Yeah, it just goes to show too. A lot of the movie was never meant to be taken seriously at all. So hell, a lot of the props that I think we could all look at it, it's like this is directly like from like other like sci-fi movie props like Aliens, for example.
hmm
But hey, what can we say? I fucking love this movie, man. This shit is awesome.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I agree.
Not a
Indeed,
great
it was.
movie.
Yes, it was. Doesn't need to be.
Yeah, it's a B-rated sci-fi film. Like we expect in this case the most funniest shit possible, and we got exactly that. Now, with that being said, they were able to in this case figure out that a lot of the bugs did actually behave in a hive mind, where there is a thing called the brain bug, where it gathers intelligence by sucking the brains out of other human beings, and it can formulate strategies and have its own chain of command.
Which is weird in itself, to be honest.
It is.
I agree.
And so some people say it's like, okay, so maybe that's how they were launching meteors, but that doesn't really, they don't necessarily have like still ways to like fucking take the asteroid and ship that off to another planet or something like that. However, they did mention too that some of those asteroids do contain like other forms of arachnids as well, as one of them crash planet to another planet that in this case that we were describing earlier. So there's presence of bugs there.
Okay, I have to
Oh.
say, the one part of the movie that just baffled me, and it was just hilarious to think about, is that the bugs are like on the opposite side of the
The
galaxy,
galaxy, yes.
and they're shooting asteroids at Earth from across the galaxy that are going, slower than the speed of light. Dude, that asteroid that smacked right into Buenos Aires definitely was flying for like a couple million years.
Like, hey, that, like I said-
A couple million is probably
yeah,
too quick. I would have to say it's been flying for too long.
Long time.
yeah. So that even begs to my point too. Did the bugs actually fucking send the meteor if humanity never existed in the first place for the bugs to actually send that shit?
You never know. They were planning for humanity.
And who's to say too that the meteor itself did not come from like an asteroid belt from our solar system?
I don't know.
Because they were making their way from Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
Those bugs were planning to attack humanity since the beginning, Brian. Don't you understand?
No, Victor,
Before
you're
we
buying
even
into the
existed.
propaganda.
Don't you understand?
And
The
this
center.
And like I said, this is the greatest shit about this movie too, is the fact that so much of the propaganda and then the amount of times that people just straight up believed it. I'm like, hold on a minute. Does anybody have like two brain cells to really connect the dots on like, why the fuck would a meteor all the way out from the other side of the galaxy be sent from the bug planets who we do not know if they can actually interact with technology, send a meteor from their solar system to ours in that long distance gap, and it didn't hit anything in between?
Yeah, that makes
Yes,
sense to me.
sir.
All right,
I can
fuck
believe it.
All right, fuck it. But besides the point here, too. So then we'll go into, let's say, closer towards the ending as well, then. So now Rico is technically like leading, in this case, his own ground platoon at this point. I forgot, what rank did he get at towards the end of the movie? Was it like a general?
I think it was a sergeant.
Lieutenant.
Judge.
A sergeant.
He's a
Commander.
lieutenant.
He got
Okay.
a sergeant. No,
Okay.
it was he was a lot higher than that.
No, I'm pretty
Okay, well,
sure.
No, he was
highest would be
lieutenant.
lieutenant then.
Well, he
Okay.
got a lieutenant, and then because the guy got his lieutenant killed on purpose, and then the guy who got his lieutenant killed on purpose died, and then he assumed control of the entire mission.
So
Man
in
just
this
moved
case,
up way too
commander?
fucking fast.
He was definitely replacing the commander.
Okay. So if anything, yes, he ended up becoming the commander by the end of the movie through, I wouldn't even say nepotism. It was just like a series of unfortunate accidents, quote unquote unfortunate accidents.
Yeah, quote-unquote
Unfortunate
accidents, yeah.
nepotisms.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So, yeah. So now we get to the point where they're trying to capture this brain bug on the orders of Neil Patrick Harris, who's the best costume design I've ever seen from this to nail the point that this may or may not have been a fascist government.
Yeah. I remember he literally walked on screen. And I go, bro, reminds me of like an SS officer.
Yeah.
That was the point. Like I couldn't help but laugh. Like, God damn, why does the costume actually fit so well for this occasion? Oh my god. But yes, on behalf of the orders of that, they were to capture the brain bug because NPH's character also is a psychic. Yes, psionic ability is a thing that occurs in this movie. I really don't want to know anymore, and I don't think it's that much important to get into it because all they care about is like military man shooting bugs, getting killed left and right, people dying left and right too, corpses everywhere, everyone is panicking. Goddamn,
exactly, I like
Loy's
that.
brother is shooting sniffings in the background. Oh goddamn, my words just fucked up right there and there.
It's okay, bro. I had 3 strokes for you.
Oh my god. Too bad I already got a single stroke just because that happened anyways. But moving on towards the ending here, they do manage to capture the brain bug on the fact too that both Carmen and also the pilots. Oh yeah, by the end of the point of this movie too, both Carmen and Rico broke up because Carmen was a little hoe.
Yeah, she was.
That was an understatement, bro.
Yeah. So anyways, that happens. So she ends up in this case, her, I believe it was like her partner co-pilot, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, he decides they both end up like into the lair of the brain bug. And in this case, the main guy there, or not the main guy, the guy that was with Carmen gets his brain sucked out by the brain bug in the most goriest way possible. That shit was creepy as hell.
I agree.
Now, and then we get to the scene of like, yeah, Rico sends his own like rescue mission of like trying to save Carmen. I'm like, man, I would have just let her die.
She hoe.
Oh.
Man.
Spoilers, she did.
No, she still lived at the end.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, she could have died.
Spoilers.
Yeah, she could have just.
Definitely somewhere.
Yeah, she could have just.
Brian really spoiling, bro.
I know, dude.
Man,
What the
it's
heck?
in
Brian
97.
really spoiling.
Man, it's in 97. If you haven't seen Starship Trooper, you guys should go watch it too. I don't even care if like spoilers. I don't know. I think spoilers in my case too doesn't really ruin the experience of the movie that much unless you really care about not knowing the ending.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad it doesn't ruin your experience, but it might for others.
Oh, I'm sorry there, guys. Man up. Or woman up.
Oh, you're assuming gender. I love it.
Dang, dude.
No, I don't.
Really trying to get us canceled now.
Hey, at least in this movie, look, in this movie, they literally treat every gender equally, surprisingly. Especially back in the 90s.
They were showering in the same showers.
Yeah, they
Bro.
even have the same bunk together. I'm like, what the hell?
I saw titties and man titties in fucking bakeries, bro.
For
Yeah.
real.
Nice.
For.
So,
Men's, but what?
so with that towards the end too, they captured the brain bug and kumbaya, everyone is still continuing to fight against the bugs with newer technology and newer understanding how to fight the arachnids. Now, we will get to the review portion of this section about the movie, as I did my best to probably butcher the most simplest synopsis ever.
I feel that.
So,
True.
I will start off with you guys before I say anything else, since I was the one talking a lot.
No.
What do you guys think about this movie?
Loved it.
Enjoyable, but very dumb.
Yeah, I agree. I share the same sentiment.
Oh man. But in the sense that if you think back about like the time era that it was made, yeah, even in that with that respect, it was still probably the most terrible movie.
Yeah.
I,
Good thing I didn't see it back then, because I was still my dad's nutsack at the time. God damn.
God damn. Now,
Wow.
I did not need to know that.
No, you did. Yeah, you did.
Man. Now, mind you, for the time frame of like anyone else that
Anyway.
so
Anyways.
Moving on.
moving on from that, for those that are curious about like the release of the release of the Starship Troopers, Terminator 2 came out in 1991, which is by far my favorite Terminator movie. And I'm gonna look up the release date for Jurassic Park because I believe that was also around then as well. 1993. So yeah, this the 90s was also like the era of like when CGI VFX was like at an all-time high. Then we got Starship Troopers and we're like, what the fuck is this? But no, it's like the best thing about the movie itself was that I think the directors and the producers, obviously they weren't necessarily gonna make a lot of money off of this movie too, and they didn't expect it to be this popular. But anyways, there's still a cult following of people that love this series. And it's kind of weird, to be honest. To like the producer's point of view is like, man, why the fuck do these kids like these? Do they not understand this is just straight up propaganda?
We love propaganda.
Yeah.
Hey, propaganda.
Yeah, but give me 1 second. I'll be right back as something is happening downstairs. But you guys continue on the conversation for me real quick.
Ay. This
Alright,
man
well,
can't even host his own fucking fun. I love
That's
him.
what I'm saying, bro. I don't get it, man. This
Oh,
boy got
yes.
What was
I
y'all's
don't know.
favorite part of the movie?
Honestly, seeing some man ass. What? I'm just kidding.
The man showers.
Man, yeah, but
No,
everyone shower scene. You mean?
Yeah, there were
Yeah,
boobs
dude.
and butts in there.
Oh yeah, dude. The acting was so poorly done, but I was like, what the fuck?
Absolutely, bro. That's the whole charm of the movie.
I just love that the stupidity of the movie is best selling point. Like, it's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, they're not even aiming down. So they're just going like fucking Rambo and shit. And it's just holding by their
bro.
hips like, grrr.
They're just spraying back and forth, dude.
Dude.
Call of Duty style.
I really
Could you
did like all
imagine?
the every now and then when it would come back and it'd be the propaganda pieces, and it was just funny, and they were all smacking the roaches.
It was like, do
I heard
do
Brian
your
come
part.
back.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was just like someone was asking me something downstairs, but it's all dealt with real quick. But yeah, were you guys talking about the whole thing?
We were just talking about our favorite parts. Some of our favorite parts.
Yes, sir.
My still favorite part is still the training boot camp, where they were doing knife throwing training.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love in this case the drill sergeant there. I think fuck, I remember we looked it up last night too. Like, who was the drill sergeant? Like, his voice is very familiar.
I don't know.
Ah, man. Need to look up the IMDb for Starship Troopers real quick. But to describe to the scene for you guys, literally they're doing this knife training. One of the characters asks us, why do we like throwing knives too when most of what we do is like killing bugs anyways, right? It's not like they're going to be able to push the button. He was like, Private, put your hand up on that wall. He was like, oh, okay. He does it. Fucking throws his hand into his hand and nails it to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And just says the most amazing speech there. It's like the enemy cannot push the button if you disable his hand. I was like, okay.
Medic! Every time he would kick that guy's butt, he would always call the medic.
It's just like,
Correct.
what the fuck? Oh, Clancy Brown is Sergeant Zim. So, one of the things that he is most known for, let me see here, he was Mr. Krabs.
What?
Money. Money.
Money.
Money.
You know what? I was gonna say something else, but yeah, you know what? That checks out.
Money. Why did you build the Krusty Krabs?
But
Money.
I had no idea he was the voice of Mr. Krabs.
It's all
Yeah.
right. The teacher guy, I think, was Sam Fisher.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's who it was in this case that you were mentioning too. Yeah, the Razak.
Yeah.
Gene Razak.
Raz. Yeah, Razak.
God,
That's Sam
what a-
Fisher, guys.
Yeah,
From
those
Splinter
that-
Cell, if you guys aren't familiar.
Yeah, Tom Clancy's. Woo, Ubisoft. Down with the ship of Ubisoft. God.
Oh,
Whoa.
calm down.
Anyway. Sorry,
No,
my
this
bad.
boy angry for no reason, bro.
My bad. You just mentioned Tom Clancy, then Ghost Recon, then Sam Fisher, Splinter Cell stuff. I'm sad. But moving from that point.
Boo hoo.
Shut up, boy.
Moving on from that boo-hoo.
But with that being said, too, on the scales of like movie stuff, from 1 to 10, where do you want to put this number for the movie here?
I give it a solid 6 or 7.
Bro, I give it a solid 4.
Solid negative 10.
That's my enjoyability.
Yeah, my enjoyability is the 4.
I
I
put
love the stupidity, but it was such a bad movie.
And yes, it has the genre of particularity where the movie is so bad that it's fun to watch. Like the phenomenon Sharknado.
Not Sharknado.
Like, I mean, am I wrong?
I've never seen it.
You're not.
I decided not to see it.
God.
I'd say watch it for one particular actress in general, and it's not Olivia Wilde, I promise.
Bro, that's one of our friends' celebrity crush. Don't out him. Don't say his name. But we know who he is.
I won't.
We know
But
who he is.
yeah, we know. Dude, that person that's watching this right now, you know who you are.
Yes, sir.
You know who you are.
God damn,
Oh!
my
Damn,
ears,
am I-
Jesus.
Hey, you want
But
an ASMR? Damn.
no. Now, despite like how bad that movie is, I feel like at this point it can't be helped that this movie spun itself off as like so much of like future like tropes for sci-fi in general. I believe Halo Combat Evolved, like some like the ODST, not ODST, all the Marines were loosely based off of that, and maybe aliens, especially some of the Marines stuff too. Maybe Sergeant Johnson was based off of like the drill sergeant Zim. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
But if anything, where am I going with this? No, now that I mentioned games. Well, glad you asked, audience, because we're going into, in this case,
I didn't
the
ask
Audience.
just shut up. Let me go. Let me speak my piece here. All right. We're going to talk about the game called Helldivers, who in this case is the love child of Helldivers and many other sci-fi like movies and other games to really bless this earth with. Now,
Did you say?
Helldivers itself is straight up like if you look at the story, it's word for word essentially the movie Helldivers, with the added bonus that it may or may not be Halo ODST at one point, but I'm pretty sure Helldivers came after ODST, so I could still be right. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
I need to look up real quick here. Let me fact myself here real quick here.
Let me just fact myself.
Let me
Yeah,
fact
fact-
myself here.
Let me go
Fact check myself. All right.
I'm a
Go
fact
fact myself real
My
quick, guys.
God, I'm sorry.
Give me a
All
second.
right.
Go fact myself, guys.
Oh
You
my
wanna go
God.
fact yourself?
Yeah, shut up. All right. So, Yeah, Halo 3 ODST came out around 2009. The first ever Helldivers came out in 2015. So I could still say it is loosely based off of like Starship Troopers and maybe some elements of Halo. But then instead of
What the
ODST, instead of ODSTs, where I believe they're called Hell Jumpers, they just call themselves Hell Divers.
Mm-hmm.
Hell jumpers are in the tubes.
Yep. But
Yep.
now, why do I make this distinction too? Because of the most recent game of Helldivers 2 that got released not that long ago, actually, like a few weeks ago. And we've talked about it a lot too in the podcast as like really the most popular multiplayer game with the most hilarious way of marketing. It's just a propaganda like trailer. That was it. That was how they sold the game, and it worked out spectacularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say splatacularly. I will say splatacularly because the trailer itself showed so much guts in there.
Spectacularly.
Yeah, like bugs being like killed, humans being squashed, and all the things in between, whatnot. So I would like to at least pose you guys with like a very interesting questions too. Would you say that a lot of like other sci-fi games, now that you guys have watched the original Starship Troopers, that you can see some elements that they have taken probably from this movie and then incorporated into their own game?
Dude, of course.
Now,
Literally,
you gotta,
the whole gameplay. Yes, it is people dropping down from the fucking sky and fighting bugs on their planet, all for democracy.
Sounds
I don't know
Halo.
what.
Bless.
I don't know, bro. It's pretty similar. Like,
Yeah, I
pretty
don't know,
cut
bro.
clean.
No, I didn't. Well, I meant to word that question as like, besides Helldivers here, my bad, forgot to include that. What other games that you've seen that kind of has like some similarities to the movie Helldivers?
The movie?
Mm-hmm. Like what other games that have some similarities to the movie? I also mentioned Halo.
I've never seen the movie Helldivers.
Well, not
I've seen the movie
Helldivers.
Helldivers.
God damn it, you both. I swear, I'm gonna beat you in the face senselessly. But what I meant to word here,
Oh, yeah.
like the movie Starship Troopers, what games did you think might have taken inspiration from this movie and have incorporated to any other developer's own game? Either be the way how the looks to the story, or maybe in this case, the general feel that the audience had when they were watching it. Maybe the last part might not be relevant.
Yeah, I don't know what you're asking either.
Man, I thought I was trying to be clear here. Fuck.
EDF is one of them that essentially is just fighting bugs.
EDF.
Earth Defense Force for everyone who are unfamiliar.
How
Yeah,
could you be unfamiliar with EDF?
yeah.
EDF.
So, pretty much quick way to really describe what this is. It's a Japanese arcade game where you're fighting off like literally alien bugs. That is effectively it. With the marketing power, or not marketing power, with the funding of
the bugs have
America.
the marketing power to
Yeah,
knock
this is
you
a
out.
reverse Starship Troopers where the aliens are alien bugs are invading us.
Yeah. But then we have the power of the human spirit and the American economy at our side.
Yeah, in Japan.
Yep. Oh yeah, mind you, it is in Japan, so it's even weirder to see that like, Japan with this much firepower. Wait a minute. Isn't this just America?
Wait a minute.
But
America in Japan.
yeah. And I also did a little bit of like year releases and whatnot too. Halo Combat Evolved came out in 2001. So it's kind of like sort of easy to see too that Combat Evolved might have taken some inspirations from Starship Troopers and maybe other sci-fi mediums like freaking Star Wars, Dune, or the Aliens, for example. But doesn't really matter to the point too. I believe Starship Trooper is also, when we talk about sci-fi, is in this case a pivotal piece of media and fiction that kind of shaped the way how we look at sci-fi, one way or the other. As dumb as this
Explain.
movie was.
Explain. Elaborate.
So, like what I did.
Elaborate.
So let's go back into like Helldivers 2. right? Where we talk a little bit briefly here and there about what the basis of the game, but what really did itself more in this case, why it was so good and why people are still playing Helldivers 2 and it has an all-time player peak, was literally the fact that the trailer itself already showcases himself like how ridiculous the game is going to be, because all it is a co-op shooter where you and your buds are going onto planets killing bugs in the name of managed democracy, which if anything like the managed democracy, they made that very clear in the trailers. But in the movie Starship Troopers, they were in this case fighting off the bugs, in this case for other reasons, that they were trying to fight back in retaliation for the meteor striking Buenos Aires. But realistically, if you look at it as a whole, these guys are just doing nothing more than just spreading, in this case, the influence of the Federation across the galaxy.
As it should be.
Yeah, because on to that point as well, the movies itself doesn't really cover anything whatever the book talks about. However, in Japan, they did try to redo, or in this case, do their own take of Starship Troopers by following more in line of the novels, not making a live action, but it's like a 3D animation stuff, where in this one, the troopers or the mobile infantry are all wearing exo power suit armors. And I think about that, I was like, wait a fucking minute, this is just straight up Spartans.
Yeah.
But then it didn't matter anyways, because it even shows like how terrifying the bugs are, where they're just ripping through power armor.
Oh yeah. That's
So
aliens for you, Doug.
yeah, it's
for real.
pretty much aliens had a big influence of this movie as well. And yeah, I think the really best way to kind of showcase, again, Helldivers 2 being unapologetically ridiculous, and in this case not shying away that this game is really really inspired by
Sponsored by democracy.
Sponsored by democracy. But inspired by the whole storytelling, and in this case the themes of Starship Troopers. Ultimate fascism to the utmost point, and then masking all of that with propaganda. Which, yeah, it's great. That's all I can really say about it too. And it's one of the things too that, like, you look at the movie Starship Troopers and we all give the ratings of like, it's an okay movie to like, it's not the greatest, but who gives a fuck? That movie was fun to watch. The same way how you look at Helldivers 2, it's like there's nothing really like extensive or even deep about this game. It's just a simple co-op shooter there. You're just going onto planets, either shooting bugs, aliens, or robots. But there's the thing about it. That's all the audience really care about. Because I think this is also a really fun thing to look at Starship Troopers of why, in this case, it's still really popular. To, in this case, some of like the normal audiences as well. I think it's really because of the fact that it just seemed, or it was just really fun movie or games to watch and play, depending on who you ask about it too.
Yeah, like the quality of Starship Troopers, the movie, it was. I mean, obviously it's parody, so obviously it's not going to be fantastic. But it was, as harsh as we were to it, obviously joking, it's a really fun movie to watch. It's just dumb action, and it's just really exciting to watch.
Yeah, and
that's it. Like,
I will say too,
Yes.
like the other things about it too, where other directors even did point out too that like they didn't want to just make like dumb action movies too, just because they didn't really have a sense of like, it's like making like a dumb action movie is in one way or the other kind of makes it feel like you're making fun of the audience watchers or movie goers, because you really are just dumbing down the movies for these people. But obviously, in the point of view that the movie that it's trying to be, and through the vision of the producer himself, he wanted this movie to be dumb. Like there was nothing else or deep about it as much either. And I think a lot of people that did watch it, they realized it too, because they've seen good movies before Starship Troopers came out. Then again, we had like the likes of movies at Independence Day that came out as well. Terrible movie, but my god, I still love that.
Yeah.
Not the sequel to the Independence Day. That thing was a travesty. But moving back to talking more about the Starship Troopers. In this case, the animated stuff that they're trying to make, at least in Japan, it was really interesting and weird. Me and Victor, you and I kind of watched like clips of it here and there too. Based on the clips that we did watch, what do you take of like from those animations or from the animated adaptations of Starship Troopers and comparing it to the old? Do you think the animation is better than the original, or is it still just the same amount of ridiculousness in both adaptations?
Which one again? Let me to remember.
Okay, so in this one, I think I showed you some of the clips where effectively they crashed it or they landed down and they had like shoulder mounted nukes. Oh yeah, mind you, they were also like just freely using nuclear warheads on these bugs wherever the chance they can get. But if anything, we'll have to go back.
I remember for some reason I remember seeing it, but I don't remember too much.
Yeah, it's effectively that is what it, or it is just that too. And then they were all in the animated stuff. They were wearing power armor, and then you may even made the comment too about like the fuck does this power armor even do then if it doesn't stop these bug attacks? Because at least in Starship Troopers, these guys were getting easily killed by these bugs. So it's like in the books they mentioned they were wearing exosuits or skeletons, but they were getting killed. Producers like, why the fuck are we giving them like exosuit and skeletons if they're gonna just get killed off like that easily?
Yeah.
I might as well just give it bare bones, making it look like the regular UNSC Marine. Like I said, but I think if anything, I feel like Halo Combat Evolved has more inspirations from like movies like Aliens and whatnot. But I still like to think that in some ways or levels, some developers were a big fan of Starship Troopers and decided to add some fun, weird elements to, especially how a lot of times in legendary difficulty, where you hear some like unique dialogues happen between like Marines or other enemies with each other. But hold on, what's going on? Shit, I thought I saw a fly back here. Sorry about that, guys. Shit. It was like I saw something fly across. I got distracted for a second there. I was like, the fuck? Where's my gun? I'm gonna shoot this bug. No, where's my gun? I'm about to shoot this bug in the name of democracy. But moving forward to the point, I do want to touch a little bit more with Helldivers 2 here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because outside of that too, being a direct inspiration from, in this case, Starship Troopers. Now, I really wanted this to be like a pivoting point off of the fact that we loved, in this case, dumb movies. And the game of Helldivers 2 is nothing but just like a simple gameplay here that everybody can get behind and just play, and they are having a blast here. Does that speak in some ways too that some like the audience or some of the consumers, they kind of just want something simple in the end? Like, let's say that we mirror, in this case, the way how a lot of like games and other films nowadays do, where they're trying to like pose themselves as like for the audience that if they're smart enough, they can understand like the full complexities of the movies or game that they are watching or playing. But here with some of the cases with Helldivers 2 being like just dumb fun here, is that does that say more about like just the general audience about like they just want like simpler and something to easy to just get into, either get into watching the film series or just playing the games? Who knows? Hopefully you guys can understand what I was babbling about.
No.
Not at all.
God damn it. I was so sure I was making some amount of sense here. Fuck. But
Anyways, people just like playing dumb games, and I agree.
yeah, because like me, you, Victor, we played like EDF, not because of the fact that we actually do like a game, but it was the fact that it was just really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
the many and multiple times where we accidentally just call a bunch of like artillery strikes on ourselves, killing each other off screen here and there. Oops. But going back to that, people would just like to have a lot of dumb fun, really. And in this case, too, depending on your guys' or depending on your guys' exposure to how much you've seen in gameplays of Helldivers 2, or seen like or heard or read about it too. I just want to hear more about what your guys' take on. In this case, what does Helldivers 2 reflect on the fact that it's a spiritual like successor or a spiritual like inspiration of Starship Troopers? And what does that say to like our modern, not modern audiences, but just like in general public consumers? What does that state to all of you guys here? State or say to all of you guys? Fuck. Man, I am not doing well with my words today.
Can you repeat the question?
So I'm here to ask you, what do you guys think about like Helldivers 2 being a spiritual successor to Starship Troopers, and what does that state say that our general audience or general consumers look at games like Helldivers 2 going forward now?
Well, it's clear that people want dumb easy games to play again. I mean, like with games like Call of Duty and all the other type of shooter games being more and more complicated and tiring, you just want to just chill sometimes and just play a legitimately dumb shooter.
Yeah. And beforehand too, that was like one of the bigger criticisms that Call of Duty did have for a while too, where it was just like a dumb run and gun shooter.
But it was dumb, but not fun.
And in this case, I would say like it was at least still fun, probably back in like the old Modern Warfare 2 days. Nowadays, yeah, it was just I even installed like
say, but I guess it just doesn't feel right. And just playing Call of Duty nowadays just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Like let's in this case asking to the two of you guys, when was the last time you guys had like a fun like turn your brain off kind of game that
EDF.
you haven't played in a while? No, not you, Victor. I said outside of us two, because we even mentioned EDF already.
You said the two of us, bro.
I meant to say outside of the two of us here. That I'm addressing it to Michael and Loy. My bad.
When's the last time I played a brain dead game? Not a long while. It probably would also have to have been EDF.
EDF. And
EDF.
what about you, Loy? What was the last brain dead game that you played?
Bro, I'm in the restroom.
Why didn't you? You did not even tell,
dude.
He did. I do.
Well, Loy, can you tell us now?
God damn. Oh my god. I hope you know, Loy, I cannot hear messages over Discord because of Streamlabs. It mutes notifications.
Oh well, let's just keep going.
Yeah, my bad.
This one is scuffed.
Yep, and welcome. This might be scuffed yet. Oops, my bad, people.
I do love this song. I love it.
But yeah, it's like I think right now we are seeing in this case a really, I don't know if this is a good positive trend where we're probably gonna just see even more like just dumb fun games. But then again, I think that's something that we kind of do need as like at this point maybe a palate cleanser, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a slow down.
Yeah, like I would say like a palate cleanser in a way of like the way how a lot of people nowadays are like looking at games too, where they're like ultra serious, Diablo 4 expansion passes, go get this live service game, gotta win to grind out. You can't be a best player if you don't fucking put 100 hours into this game. Like, holy fuck. Maybe it's the age that's getting to us that I don't want to like dedicate that much amount of time in games. And I look at it like games like Helldivers 2, and I'm like, yeah, I could just slowly pick this game up and then play it every now and then. And it's like, it's a live service game too, and there's battle passes. But even the game directors and the game developers themselves just say, you can just buy the battle pass, but you can also earn the currency to purchase it yourself. So it's like it's a pay or it's a play to earn system, while at the same time it still gives us options to do like pay stuff to get the battle passes, and none of them are like any significant advantage over the other. So it doesn't really matter in the end. And it's like, so what's a battle pass system for? Probably something that Sony wanted them to make and then try to promote live service stuff. I don't know. But let's just leave it out to the fact that I do think Helldivers 2 really is like a good palate cleanser, at least to a lot of people, as we're seeing like a lot of COD streamers that are actually hopping onto Helldivers 2. So maybe there is some positive things happening. Who knows? We're all fighting in the name of managed democracy in the end.
Managed democracy.
But actually, I don't know where to follow up with this too. I think if anything, yeah, Starship Trooper being the dumb fun movie, and then Helldivers 2 translating how dumb fun that movie was and then put it in a video game format. Even though we already do have Starship Trooper games out there now. But I don't think any of them would actually kind of meet the feel of like what Helldivers 2 really means. That they're really just nailing into that point of like, yeah, like community-wide like collaboration to fighting for the power of spreading democracy upon our planet's systems, whatnot. We are definitely not a fascist. But
Oh yeah.
look, yeah. But now that you're back, Lloyd, and hopefully not shitting your brains out in the toilet, my bad.
Yes.
But what would you say is the last dumb fun game that you played?
Dumb fun game. I wouldn't say it's dumb, but I put like nearly 100 hours in Persona already, or maybe 102. I like, oh, this, I'm just gonna mindlessly go on a high school dating sim while beating fucking demons and shit.
You mean beating up the
So,
mentally handicapped? I'm kidding.
hey, I mean,
Oh.
bro, there are some shadow that like look like they need assistance.
But outside that point here, it's like in a lot of ways too, there does appear to be like a divergence of players going away from like the known like popular game titles and then just trying out all newer games, which is, that's great in a lot of cases too. And I think that's something that me and Victor kind of like called back at it too, that it's going to be it's going to be a cycle of like what game companies are going to be very popular to. In this case, they might end up like falling apart or either file for bankruptcy. Look at Ubisoft, for example. I will not stop banking on to Ubisoft here.
Oh, yeah.
They're the ones that coined the term quadruple A games. I will keep clowning on them until they actually go bankrupt.
They're the ones who did that? Yeah.
Yes.
Crash and burn.
But anyways,
Crash and burn.
But anyways, it's like it's going to be a cycle. It's going to be a cycle where you're going to see game studios that are going to, in this case, disappear or vanish from the market, right? That's just like the course of nature of like how games are. But in the ashes of like these giants are going to be like other studios that also like care about making games, and it's like super polished. Well, I wouldn't say super polished because Helldivers 2 did have some problems too, but it was due to the fact that they were not expecting so many players to like hop in on like week 1, for example.
Yeah.
And even after that, the next week where they fix it, nope, it's like having issues again. Oh my god, player capacity is a problem. But so it really is interesting to look at Helldivers 2, see the amount of player count that they have too. It's kind of mirroring or barking back at to like older times when Call of Duty was around, especially like before Modern Warfare even. I'll even say like back probably Battlefield 1942 time era.
No.
Oh yeah, never mind. You haven't played it that far. My bad. Shit.
Yeah, me neither.
What was the most earliest Battlefield games that you guys had played?
I don't even remember
Bad Company.
playing Battlefield.
Yeah, Bad
Okay.
Company.
Okay, for you guys, it's back of it. My earliest Battlefield was 2142. That was back in like 2000s. I think that was during the same time as like Crisis as well, I believe.
I remember just playing the Bad Company demo like all the time on Xbox.
Hmm.
Bro.
Yeah, and
Yeah, but-
oh man, just looking back at it, but yeah, we're already going to talk about games too. I might as well, anyways, because I did mention that we were going to talk about Helldivers too. So, what's to say right now too? Traditionally, right now, this is more or less going to be my way of like telling to the people that are now just playing Helldivers 2 and haven't played the previous game. We're only fighting against two factions right now, which are in this case the robots and the bugs. There is a third faction that is going to be introduced at some point in the future, just because then,
Communists.
yeah, we're going to
Yeah,
call
they're
them
a
the
big
communist
faction.
aliens. Yeah, the third faction is the communist. Ready your
Dang
arms,
commies.
super citizens. We got some commies to fight. But like I said, I've only like played it every now and then here and there too, just to like really see like just trying to compare the gameplay differences of playing the previous Helldivers, which was a twin stick shooters, to Helldivers 2, where it's a third person shooter. Immediately, it was great to have to, and it was weird enough to see that they actually include like fucking bullet physics as well too, where you're on the machine gun or rifles too, and then you can just see your bullets ping off from the surface and off to the distance.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah, it's like one of those huge weird visuals of details too that like I don't think I expected this game to have that, but it does. Like in this case too, it's not like Ricochet is like a unique thing to see in like even AAA titles, because there is some way or form like Ricochets here and there, but still to kind of visually like show it in that way too, it kind of feels right. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm already like exhausting out my points to really talk about Helldivers 2, but to you guys that have seen gameplays and watched some things about it, or maybe might have played it here and there some way or form too, what do you guys think about it?
Haven't played it, barely watched it, don't know anything about it.
Damn it.
I just know democracy.
Well,
I'm
if
doing my part.
Well, if
I'm doing my
anything,
part.
well, at least for you two, that's all that really matters in the end, is that you guys just know the propaganda and it's working. It's it's the weirdest fact. It's the weirdest fact too that the only thing that they marketed about the game was literally they just revealed the opening cinematic of the game, and it was just pure propaganda. Everybody was like, "Shit, I'm in."
I was in.
Democracy, dog.
Damn, you were into being a Helldivers. Where the fuck were
yeah.
you at Malevolent Creek?
What?
Exactly my point. But it's already come to the point too where it's weird, right? Because it's like looking at Helldivers 2 being so super popular, and then me owning like a copy of the original Helldivers, where it was mostly just like a fun like indie twin stick shooter game. Sure, it was like popular here and there too, but obviously it wasn't like as big of like a fan base as like Battlefield, Halo, or Call of Duty, for example. But to see like Helldivers 2 having the same amount of like player base now that the original COD and Battlefield games had back then too, I don't know. It just feels interesting. Maybe like cooperative shooters is what we need, not looter shooters. Looking at you, Suicide Squad.
Rooter
Get the
shooters.
squad. Get the
What
squad
about
together.
Borderlands?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
looter shooter.
Yeah, booty lands.
Yeah,
That was
Borderlands
a fun
was
ass game.
yeah, yeah, it was fun, dumb fun too. Half the time we are just like trying to find like the coolest guns too, and then finding it was like, oh, I reload this one, but it's actually I throw my entire gun. Okay.
Dude, what was that? The fucking robot's name again? The cracked ass, the
Clap.
wise ass joke.
Claptrap.
Clap
Dude,
trap.
Yep.
Claptrap's
Yeah.
goated. Best character.
God damn.
Fucking best character with all his fucking clapbacks, dude. Pun intended.
Yeah. I mean that was
Clapping
effectively.
cheeks.
There was a lot of sex jokes that he made in the Borderlands games as well. So
Cheeks
But
have been clapped.
Hell yeah.
Really, do you guys have anything more that you guys want to discuss about it, or in this case, you want to add on to Starship Troopers as your own personal review about it?
Nothing else
Uh,
really.
it's pretty much the same all around. Maybe with some minor niches. That's
Yeah,
pretty much all the same around. It's a
yeah,
stupid, fun movie. Where it's horrible fucking plot line. The only thing that happens is like, oh, we're gonna drop down a fucking, I don't know, whatever. Brian, say the word.
Klendathu.
Yeah, they
Clay
drop down on that bitch.
Yeah,
They drop down on that bitch. Goes gun blazing. Gets swarmed by a bunch of fucking thick ass ant buggy dudes and get fucking mauled to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, there wasn't an invasion plan anywhere. They had in this case the capability of like actually bombarding the surface of the planet.
They're like,
Actually,
fuck it, we ball.
yeah, fuck it. We'll just send the mobile infantry people down first and not provide cover fire for them.
Nope, don't even nuke the fucking planet. Let's just send in like fucking our little humans shooting guns with millions, possibly fucking bugs. Oh my god,
Yep.
damn, y'all stupid. Hence is why this movie is stupid. Hence why it's good. In some
Exact.
stupid sense.
Oh man.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah. If anything, I only ever will show you guys this movie too because there was a sequel to, but I'm not gonna subject y'all to that nonsense because it's never gonna
Dude.
be as good as the first.
I don't know. Maybe it would be.
Nah, I
you
wouldn't.
never know.
Older
wouldn't know,
movies
'cause
are
I
just
haven't
so much
watched it.
better. Older movies
Yeah.
are so much better, dude.
Yeah, like RoboCop.
To a certain extent, dude. I think one of my favorite fucking like movie series or like movie in general, like probably top, like both of them are like top 5 is probably White Chicks and Rush Hour. Like, like it's just too fucking good, dude. They're just too fucking good. Like fucking Rush Hour was ahead of its time. Like fucking Jackie Chan,
I do agree. I
fucking
agree.
Chris Tucker was like fucking stupid, especially Rush Hour 3, where like they revealed like the fucking secret scroll of the triads, and it's like, oh my god, I went to second base with Frenchman. I'm like, I broke that Carter. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's like, oh my god, I'm a woman. Are you sure? Lee, go check the hardware.
This
Like,
boy
god
remembers
damn.
too much, bro.
Yeah, like
I just love the movie. It's just so like the jokes are like dumb. And
yeah,
in today's time,
Very.
it's like fucking offensive, right?
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was just too fucking good how they did it. It wasn't even meant to be insulting. It was just meant to be funny. And I was
yeah.
like, just cracked my ass, dude. I cried. I'm actually crying. I'm actually trying to fucking like quote this movie. And White Chicks, oh my, don't get me started. Like fucking Terry Crews stole that fucking whole movie
Absolutely.
with that 1,000 miles scene,
Oh,
bro.
Like,
Oh, dude, that was
yeah, maybe there is like a commonality of like what makes a really good film. Movies that just don't take themselves seriously.
Good luck finding that today.
Oh yeah. I mean, let's be honest too. Movies that let's say that we do say they take themselves seriously are still good. Like let's take for example anything that Christopher Nolan has produced and made. Those are really good films too. But my God, I will never in this case not hate Christopher Nolan for making the movie Tenet. Fuck you. And I had to had a journal at the side to try to describe what the fuck I was looking at.
What's Tenet again?
It was essentially like weird way of like looking at time travel.
Ah,
Where in this case it's a world where entropy goes in reverse, therefore time is moving backwards. Think of everything that you can imagine going backwards, such as you're no longer breathing oxygen, you can only breathe in carbon dioxide.
Mm-hmm. Sounds whack.
It is whack. But that's still a really powerful piece too. Like there's a lot of really like quote unquote serious movies that are good too. Even Dune Part 2 is good. I still have yet to see it. But then there's also room for like movies like to be dumb fun. Like for example, the next Godzilla X Kong movie is coming out by the end of this month. I'm gonna fucking go watch it by the time I come back from Maryland. Hell yeah.
Hey, go find this man in Maryland.
Please don't. If anything,
Do
I'll
it.
probably
We'll
be
give you
like
our price.
sleeping. I'll probably be sleeping entirety of the day. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be working like dead night shifts.
Exactly. They're gonna find you at your job.
Oh God, please don't. You might get tackled by fucking security.
What if they are the security?
Oh my God, wait. But
They found you. They listened to our podcast.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I hope that in this case they don't look at my podcast and think like, oh, you need to make sure that this person has clearance. I'm like, I'm not saying anything bad here, all right? But going back on topic here, are there any final messages that you guys would like to leave about this?
I think the audience should go and check it out themselves. Where can they watch it?
Oh, in this case, go to any pirating site too. Be a pirate now, because in this day and age too, no company wants to make sure that anyone owns any copy of media ever. So if anything, it's not even piracy if I never owned it.
King of the Pirates.
What?
King
Exactly.
of the Pirates.
Don't worry about it.
Pirates.
Pirates. Pirate.
No, you shut up. I'm singing it. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm done. You messed
But-
it up. I lost my mojo.
Oh well, but if anything, there are different ways that you could probably watch this movie too. If you could find like any blockbusters or any ways that someone is
that?
selling. Oh, never mind. Lloyd doesn't know.
What the heck?
No, I know what it is. It's a joke.
I know, but still, I want to let me pull up this ad. God damn it! But anyways, you'll
up.
probably find. If anything, you'll probably have better chance like finding out on Amazon. If you guys have an Amazon Prime account, it's probably on there, most definitely.
Probably on YouTube.
Probably,
Too.
probably most definitely there.
Yeah,
Probably free
no.
on YouTube, honestly.
yeah, free on YouTube if you would like to watch it in 20 parts.
Dude,
But-
that's the good old YouTube days when I watched anime.
Yeah, but I'll say this too. For everybody that's watching it, thank you for tuning in for the most scuffed stream that's ever been. That I
I
probably
don't think this is the most. I don't think this is the most scuffed, dog. If you recall, like probably a couple months back.
Yeah,
Definitely one
you
of the scuffed ones for sure.
Yeah, motherfucker,
like-
you were pissing. I was like, you motherfucker.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
At least I had the common courtesy to tell you in mute.
Yeah, my bad.
Yes,
I
sorry.
don't have that open on my side. I can't even tell. Why didn't both of you guys tell me?
I didn't see it either.
My
Yeah.
god.
Well, it does pop up at the bottom and it glows orange and
It
has a
doesn't
number
for
on
me.
it.
It doesn't
Wait,
for
You
what?
me.
should probably.
What are you talking about?
Anyways, we'll talk
Un-
about this off stream here. But anyways, thank you for
Just
tuning
about to
in.
ream
guys.
us a new one, guys.
But anyways, thank you for tuning in for tonight's podcast here. We won't be able to do an episode next week, but we do have in this case a very interesting topic to talk about the following week too. In this case, we're about to talk about the next Gamergate shit. That's something that you guys will be anticipating. And I also need this week to actually dive into it because it's a lot.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh god damn, that's nasty, boy. But
You
yes,
will.
You nasty.
Anticipate it.
yeah, you will anticipate
will
it and
enjoy
will
it.
You will like it.
Yeah,
Whether
hopefully,
you want to or not.
but please don't cancel me. But anyways, thank you everyone.
Cancel us, I
tonight.
dare you.
All right, good night,
Camp them
y'all.
hard, real hard.
They can't.